And all forms of craniosacral work focus on this stillness. And over the course of becoming a practitioner, you learn to differentiate the stillness at the depth, at the heart of pausing, and the inertia that can happen when something that is caught or held doesn't move. And we learn to talk about those two things differently. So to go back just for a second to your question, Andre, about like, well, if it's all about inherent health and that's always within us, then how do we lose that? Part of how we lose that is because when things are unresolved, they become crystallized or calcified in a certain way in the body and in our minds. And there's a level of inertia there that's waiting for the conditions to shift again, but holding for a reason. The intelligence of the body is absolute and thorough. It's like, not safe yet, I'm going to hang on to this one, or still having feelings about that, not able to let it go, not able to shift yet until something else happens, right? So in somatic experiencing world, when we're working with clients, we often say, and what happens next? And now what do you notice? Because something moves. So when something moves, something shifts. And before that, it can hold itself inert. But that's different from what's happening right now. To me, on a spiritual global level, my perspective, this is a grand pause of stillness. And I've been sort of collecting, and part of how I've been resourcing is by thinking about how this time supports the earth and her healing. And there's actually been some research, and if you want to email Leslie after, I can try to find the links to some of the things I've found, and maybe you've seen them. There's been research about how the earth is actually quieting. And there's been research about the animals coming back into territories that they've stepped away from because it's quieter. But it's also the earth herself quieting. And the seismologists, the people who make their work to study the movement of the earth and check for earthquakes and things like that, they're saying, oh my God, we're getting totally different readings now because all those layers of noise are gone. So this is a grand pause. And pausing allows us to do something else that we weren't doing before we paused. And that's my hope for the world. However it unfolds, that it doesn't go exactly back because we've been changed by the pause. And that's what happens, because in the pause, you can reorient to what's inherently important and inherently well. And simultaneously right now we're dealing with a virus that is making people very ill and many people are dying. So this is a time of like both and, which is really the goal of, or the gift of healing, is that we can hold the experience of what we've been through, the potential of what's possible. We can hold the fact that, some of us are without money or losing loved ones, and it's a big unknown right now. And we can orient to, okay, in this moment, like everybody just sort of look away from me and look around your space and let your body decide, ask your body to assess how safe it is in your space right now. And notice what happens. Where does your body recognize safety? And maybe it doesn't feel safe, but where does your body recognize how safe it is? What happens when you just orient to this room, because the room you're in, because the world does have threats in it always. The nature of those threats are really different right now than we've lived through before. But right here in your room, let your body decide how safe it is and notice what happens.